Hello, everyone. This is Ryohei Onishi, and today we're going to talk about the tips for future TEDx or TEDxKobe speakers. And I'm going to have this session with my friend Len. So I'm really glad to have you, Len. How are you doing?
I'm a bit nervous
Yeah, you're nervous?
because it's YouTube live kind of
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be live streamed or it's gonna be live
Mm.
anyway. Yeah, so don't worry about that. So maybe if you can take a moment to talk about yourself, just briefly.
Yep. Um, First of all, sorry about that. I cannot publicly show my face due to certainly circumstance.
Yep.
And my name is Lan. I was born in Japan and raised in an English-speaking household.
Yep.
But my parents are both Japanese,
Mhm.
and they met in met at New York City. So their university is they are from American University.
Yeah.
And I hold qualifications such as United Nations English Proficiency Test Special A grade,
Yep.
Kokuren Eiken
Yep.
Koku AQ,
Exactly.
and other IELTS 8.5.
Wow.
Yep. And for this TEDx Kobe event, I was in charge of English related tasks. For example, I worked as a narrator and wrote the pamphlet. Yeah, that's my self introduction.
Yeah, thank you so much, Len. So you also translated the pamphlet for the TEDxKobe 2024, right?
Yeah,
All right. Yeah.
yes.
How was that experience?
Um, the terminology was difficult. Like
Yeah.
Ikta shrines, like the historical thing,
Yeah.
it was hard. Like I didn't know the difficult terminology, so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, was that you who translated that Ikta Shrine difficult term?
yeah. Like
Yeah.
everyone, also you too, Onishi.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. I appreciate all your support. And when I first met you, and you did the narrator job,
Mm-hmm,
and I was amazed. I was amazed. And then later, I had a talk with you, and then
mm-hmm,
you talked about this special A grade of United Nations
yeah.
Association of Test English. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
got the qualification when I was 23. And
Mm-hmm.
when did you get that, by the way?
I forgot when. I think it's 18 after graduating high school.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, when you're writing,
yeah.
yeah. In my case, it was my third time,
Mm-hmm,
and after two failures, I managed to get this. But getting that special A grade at the age of 18 is
mm-hmm.
like, wow, it can
Yeah.
never happen to my life.
Mhm.
Yeah, were you happy when you got that,
Um,
or
I
did you
was
think
happy,
like it was
but
just okay?
yeah, my friend like there's no friends that have this United Nations
Yeah,
test, so I didn't know how good, how like superior was this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
So
yeah,
yeah,
you go ahead.
normal Aiken or like TOEFL, TOEIC, everyone knows how
Yeah,
like good is the score,
yeah.
but United Nations thing, others don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I do know how hard it is
Mm-hmm.
compared with the Step ACAN. That's way more difficult in the case of United Nations exam. So
Mm-hmm.
Len, you are the super genius for me. I'm not sure if
Thanks.
I can say genius, but I know that you're more like an effort maker rather
Mm,
than just simply genius. So
yeah.
I truly respect what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm really honored to have you, and we're going to basically have this kind of play catch kind of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And the format is like once I flip the page, I ask you to read what's written there. You don't
Yep.
have to read TEDxKobe every time.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then you ask me, hey, what is this about? Or tell me what this is about. Yeah,
Mm,
something like this. Can we go with this format? Okay.
yes. Okay.
All right, let's go with the first one.
Yes. So, what is the definition of like no ideas worth spreading syndrome?
Yeah, it's my coinage. I made it
Mhm.
up,
Yeah.
but it's actually true. Like when I
Mhm.
talked with the TEDx guys, like including you, they tend to say like, "Oh, I have no idea worth spreading,"
Mhm.
but then that's actually wrong. Many
Mhm.
people do have ideas worth spreading.
Mhm.
So for me, my message here is like you shouldn't really start with this syndrome.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you start with this idea, like which I hope you can read this.
Mhm. Message: never say never.
Yeah, exactly. So if you say, no, I don't have, or I
Mm-hmm.
cannot do this, then you just stop there.
Mm-hmm.
So my encouragement for the future TEDx speakers is to really say, don't say never, or don't say
Mm-hmm.
that you don't have any, the ideas worth spreading.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you can change that mindset and start from there, then I think you have a very good chance of becoming a speaker in the future.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And how about you? Like, have you ever thought about becoming a TEDx speaker in the future?
I would like to in the future, but
Yep.
like I think I'm too immature right now. I want
Ye-
to tell my saga when I become more mature.
Okay. I mean, like you already have this syndrome, right? No ideas worth spreading syndrome. Like I'm not
Yeah.
mature enough. Yeah.
Hmm.
But you can actually. It is possible.
Yeah.
I believe for you to be a speaker. I think once I have seen a TED speaker that was like teenager or
Hmm.
around 10 years old. So
Hmm.
yeah, everyone can do that.
Yeah.
Yep. All right,
I
cool.
would
And
like to. Yeah.
yeah, please, please. And then if you have anything that you want to comment on or ask further, just
Mm.
jump in and just interrupt and say, okay?
Oh, okay.
Yep, perfect. All right, let's go. Please read this one.
Purpose. Make future TEDx speakers.
Exactly. So this video is about making future TEDx speakers.
Hmm.
I'm making this in English this time because there are people who speak in English for TEDx talks as well.
Hmm.
Even in Japan, just like me, I used English for my TEDx talk. So I hope that this English version will also resonate with the people that want
Hmm.
to make the TEDx talk in the future. And then I really hope to support them yeah, from the beginning. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. So that's the purpose.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Oh, cool. All right. So let's dive into some details
Well,
here. Yeah. Let's go with this one.
TEDx is not a sales pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Do you
think
know what?
yeah.
Yeah. You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. Really, I agree with this.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Can you talk to me like how you feel about this statement?
Like sales pitch, so like it's kind of like business presentation thing,
Yeah.
right? Like like business kind of thing is like data oriented
Yeah.
and result oriented,
Yeah.
and like it's not like process. Like process is more important, but
Yeah.
TEDx is more like process and like a more emotional oriented
Exactly.
thing. Yeah. So yeah, business sales pitch is so boring to listen, and
Okay.
it's more like specific thing. So TEDx everyone can understand.
Yeah.
So it's more like how to say like more familiar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are 100% on point. Like when you start working as a business person or in a
Mm-hmm.
company, you tend to do this kind of sales pitch. You have to
Mm-hmm.
report to your manager, to your boss, to your CEO. You have
Mm-hmm.
to talk to your customer. You have to promote your product. So you tend to become a sales-ish guy.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you bring that sales-ish kind of mindset to TEDx talk, it's not going to be successful
Mm-hmm.
because TEDx is not a business, opportunity
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's purely about making an idea that's
Mm-hmm.
worth spreading. So I think that if you have this mindset, like I'm not worried about you, Len. You're not a business person yet, but
Yep.
yeah. But if you do end up being a business person, and if you do end up like feeling like doing a sales pitch at the
Mm-hmm.
TEDx, then you shouldn't really do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the better advice for those business persons out there rather than
Mm-hmm.
university students.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The way like the presentation and the TEDx, the way they use the slides are really different.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The slides are different. Like you can't have too many letters or too many
Mm-hmm.
paragraphs on one slide. It's too much.
Yeah.
And it's a waste
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
time, waste of language. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
And
cool.
there's no jokes in the
There's no
business.
joke. Okay, in the business talk. Yeah, exactly. But in TEDx talk, we do have jokes.
Yeah.
I also did attempt to make one joke, which proved to be successful. So I'm really
Mm-hmm.
happy
Mm-hmm.
about that. But yeah, and making jokes in TEDx talk is also a kind of risky thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so depending on how they feel, they might not laugh.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes with a kind of risk. But
Mm-hmm.
yep, I
And
can
it's
talk about
also
that.
in English, so yeah.
Yeah, it's in English.
Yeah.
And then Japan is not best country in terms of English ability.
Yeah. So.
So yeah, which means that I had to really speak very slowly and
Mm-hmm.
make very easy vocabulary for them
Mm-hmm.
to really understand well. but I think it was worth the effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people didn't need interpreters to understand my talk.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a great thing that I was able to communicate what I wanted to say, even in
Mm-hmm.
English. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Now you feel like becoming a TEDx speaker in the future?
Um, 10%.
10%. Okay. So my job today is at the end of the talk today, you're going to raise from 10% to 90%.
Oh, I'll
Okay.
try my best.
Yeah. That's my job as well. All right, cool. Let's go with this one.
Okay. Make every word meaningful.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. What do you think this means?
So TEDx talk is so short,
Yeah.
so you have to make the words more important. One word important. That kind of thing.
Exactly, exactly. I will talk about it later, but TEDx talk is up to 18 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can talk in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk less than 18 minutes, but 18 minutes is considered to be the amount of span of time that people can concentrate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So every word that we say should have a meaning. Like if I say A, it has to be linked to B,
Mm-hmm.
and B is also linked to C, and everything has to be
Mm-hmm.
really, in a sense, intentionally laid out,
Mm.
so that you can kind of understand at the end of talk, like, oh, everything is really connected. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it right.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, at the beginning of the talk, I said, "Be my voice,"
Mm-hmm.
and at the very end of the talk, I also said, "Be Kobe," right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be my voice and be the voice of Kobe. They are kind of resonating with each other.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and to be the voice of others, that's also resonating. So everything has have
Mm-hmm.
a reason for being chosen. So that's what I meant for this.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think if you like this kind of rhetorical kind of art,
Mm-hmm.
then you have fun trying to make those like better word or wordplay kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always a wordplay, but I do enjoy making this kind of presentation using
Mm-hmm.
like meaningful words.
Yeah. It's kind of like a movie or drama. Like
Exactly.
when I see like mostly movies, like
Yeah.
it's so awesome when the foreshadowing is paid off.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
really love to hear that kind of in TEDx. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So in a sense, it's more like a you are singing a song.
Mm-hmm.
You are singing a rap music,
Mm-hmm.
and they do have a rhyme, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I also try to shadow and
Mm-hmm.
imitate. Yeah. So make every word meaningful. Yeah.
Did you try in your talk rhyme?
Yeah. Yeah. For example, did you notice that when I said when I talked about the Australian manager, he said, "I am your boss, and
Mm-hmm.
you are my voice."
Oh, yeah.
Boss and voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That's kind of small pair.
Yeah.
But yeah, these kind of small, effective rhetorics are kind of laid out everywhere.
Mm.
Yeah. So look forward to it. Like once the video is uploaded onto YouTube.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Let's go.
Okay. Oh, then don't memorize your memorizing sake.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think this means? Like,
Um,
I think this is something you have experienced before. Like,
yeah.
for example, in the entrance university entrance exams.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're memorizing words and
Mm-hmm.
phrases for the memorizing sake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, like don't try to like memorize everything and
exactly.
like the important only the important thing.
Yep,
Yeah, it will connect to like other things. So
exactly. Yeah. So when I was making a talk or when I tried to make a talk like very much in the past, I
mm-hmm.
tried to memorize every single word,
Mm-hmm.
and then I tried to like mechanically like try to output what I have
Mm-hmm.
memorized, but it didn't work well because I didn't really consider the order of the sentences,
Mm-hmm.
order of the paragraphs, order
Mm-hmm.
of the logic, order of the messages,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. But if I really thought about the message and the order of things, so the flow of things, like
Mm-hmm.
for example, I was born, I was 13, I was 18, I went to university, I started working. This is really natural flow, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if you say like, hey, I was 18, I was 13, I was born, I was an interpreter, that's disorganized.
Yeah, it's like annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying, right?
It's
It's
annoying,
yeah.
yeah.
If it's disorganized, it's annoying, and not only that, it's really burdensome to
Mm.
memorize.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of like middle school's English class.
exactly. Yeah, middle school English and sorry, like social studies history class.
Yeah.
Yeah. When was that guy killed? When did he rule the
Yeah.
country or stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there is no kind of good flow of
Mm.
things. But in the TEDx talk, you do need to have a very natural flow.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. You are not 18 years old before you were born or after, you need to have a
Yeah.
very natural flow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make this natural flow, you don't have to really memorize because it's so natural that
Mm-hmm.
words naturally come out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you think you're memorizing or if you think you end up memorizing, then you might be going in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah. All right, good, good. Thank you. Let's go with this.
Don't add words, remove them.
Right. What do you think this means?
I think it's kind of the same as the last one. Like
Hmm.
there's only like it's the TEDx talk is not that long, so you have
Yeah,
to remove
yeah,
and don't add many informations.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's right. So when you become a TEDx speaker, you want to talk about a lot of things that you have already done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I did this. I was in this context. I got a prize. I did this
Mm.
interpretation. You have tons of things to talk about, but 90% of the time, you don't
Yeah.
need them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just realize that you are talking about these things just to show how great you are.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
people don't really care about that, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, people do care about the idea,
Yeah.
not
It's
what
not
you
about
have
the
done.
idea, right? It's
Yeah, it's
like
not
the
about
person.
ideas. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's the trap I was in. Like when I was talking about the basketball job,
Mm-hmm.
do you remember, if you remember my talk,
Yeah. I
yeah,
remember it. Yeah.
yeah, I was talking about my interpreting job with a professional basketball coach.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that talk on that day, I just mentioned briefly, like, hey, this is what I did. But then
Mm-hmm.
previously, like 1 or 2 months ago, I was still talking about, hey, I did this, I prepared this way. I went to the room, there was a
Mm-hmm.
press conference, and there are 100 people, and
Mm-hmm.
the coach said, a great job, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. But then that was a very bad
You're
example.
seeing too much the background and too much
Exactly.
details. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So if you talk too much about details, then
Mm,
people will pay attention to that one rather than
mm,
the core idea that you want to convey.
mm,
And then, yeah, people will disperse their attention and the message won't be really conveyed as you want it to
mm,
be. Yeah. So that's very important that you don't add words. You try to remove them.
mm,
It's like I know you like pork cutlet, and
mm,
there are a lot of I don't know on the surface you have the cover, right? I don't know.
mm,
In Japanese, that's koromo. I don't
mm.
know how to tell them, but it's just like bad talks are 90% koromo, the cover,
Yeah.
superficial, yeah,
Mm,
and then 10% just meat, right?
yeah.
But you
Mm,
just have to remove 90% of them, and the 10% has to be everything.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All
Wow.
right, very good. Yeah, I think that's something. Okay. All right, let's go with this one.
Yeah. TEDx talk is 18 minutes max.
Right. Did you know about this fact, by the way?
Yeah, I knew it.
Cool.
Yeah, I really love watching TEDx talk and offshore website. And
Yeah.
yeah, I really watch TEDx talk. Yeah, it's mostly all of them are like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
around 10 minutes. So yeah, there's no more than 20 minutes. Yeah.
Exactly. I think if you go over 18 minutes, then you will have to be cut off. Like some
Mm,
part of your talk will be cut off. So that's kind of hard, but it also shows that if you try to prepare your talk and if you add more words and if the talk becomes longer and longer, you are
mm,
also in the wrong direction. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, because there's only one core idea that you want to convey.
Mm,
And then if you were talking about like too many, then you are talking about the second core idea, which is a
mm,
wrong direction.
yeah.
Yeah. Basically, the talk is going to be shorter and shorter.
Mm,
Yeah. As you focus more.
yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
So when I did this first talk back in 2019, it
mm,
was 13 minutes.
mm,
Yeah. And this time I think it was 15 minutes, including the pair work we did.
mm,
So it's not even 18 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and people do tend to forget the lines just like I did last time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about this kind of buffer time, I think 18, like if you go with 15 minutes, that would be
Mm-hmm.
okay. But if you go with the rehearsals for 18 minutes, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of risky.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
mm,
you might exceed 18 and go into 20 minutes.
yeah,
So yeah, you want to de-risk that. Right.
yeah. The shorter the talk, the more densely packed with information it tends to
Exactly.
be. Yeah, and making it easier to grasp the core idea the speaker
Exactly.
wants to convey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You're 100% right.
yeah.
So we have to have the courage to make it short.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you want to kind of enlarge it and prolong it to 18 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not what the audience wants.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go for as short, not like 3 minutes, but
Mm-hmm.
if it's 7 or 8 minutes,
Yeah,
that's long enough.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Quite important. All right, let's go with this one.
What you want to say and what you have to say.
Yeah, very, very good emphasizing point.
Oh.
Yeah, do you know what this intends to convey?
um, like what is important and what is not, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think I have already mentioned this in a previous slide, but what you want
Mm-hmm.
to say is something that you want to be proud of. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I have done this, I have done that. I met
Yeah.
this guy, I met that guy. But the audience is not interested in that.
Mm.
Yeah, so you have to really remove them, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have to really focus on what you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's just one word different, want to and have to.
Yeah.
But then this one word difference is so huge that if you
Yeah, I think
realize
so.
this, yeah, it's gonna make a lot of difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you had this kind of experience? Like there's a difference between these two.
Um, I've never like I've never like speak a presentation,
Yeah.
but when I'm writing an essay, like um, university entrance exam or
Yeah.
IELTS or
Yeah.
anything, like I have lots of like knowledge,
Yeah.
but like there's everything important. What is important in
Yeah.
this topic? So I
Yeah.
always like choose what is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is hard to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that because you have emotions to the knowledge that you have, and
Mm-hmm.
you have emotion and attachment to the things or the job that you have done. In my
Mm-hmm.
case, like interpreting for such VIPs and all the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you do want to talk about it, but
Mm-hmm.
then you have to be courageous enough to say goodbye to those great experiences
Mm-hmm.
and really stay focused to what you
Mm-hmm.
have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's the kind of headache for the TEDx speakers. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go with this.
Tell stories.
Yeah, what do you think this means?
The meaning of tell stories.
Yeah,
Yeah, just telling stories. Yeah, like it's not. How can I say? It's the one that I mentioned before. Like
yeah,
it's not the sales pitch. So
correct.
yeah, you can't like. It's not like business presentation. So you have to
Ex
talk about your stories for
exactly.
others. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think this is even more difficult for the business persons because
Mm-hmm.
they're so much used to talking about the numbers,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah, data.
growth,
Yeah.
yeah, data. For example, they're really, really used to talking about, okay, our sales grew 112%,
Mm-hmm.
and we have achieved 150% against the budget.
Mm-hmm.
We have grew 19% YOY, like year over year.
Yeah.
But we don't need that in the TEDx talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah.
really cares about your numbers.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
big headache. Yeah. The
yeah,
audience.
that's a headache for them. So,
Yeah.
but then it's really hard to really detach yourself from this number-based business
Mm-hmm.
world
Mm-hmm.
and really talk about your life
Mm-hmm.
and the episode, life-changing episodes,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really about digging deeper into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It requires a lot of really conscious effort to really
Mm-hmm.
bring back or remember what happened when you were younger, like 5 years old, 10 years
Mm-hmm.
old.
Mm-hmm.
You need someone to really help you through this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure to like have someone to listen to you, like, hey, what happened when you were 3, when you were
Mm-hmm.
5? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then those are the pieces of stories that you can actually use for
Mm-hmm.
the future TEDx talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's all about episode or stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Yep, let's go.
Don't try to be someone. Be yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any thoughts on this statement?
Don't try to be someone. Wow, it's hard.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, right? Yeah. It's like I think I have already said this before. Like you are adding a lot of words.
Mm,
Yeah, in the process of making the speech, but then you want to kind of try to be someone. Like I
mm-hmm.
did this interpretation for this VIP or to
Mm,
this guy, that guy's. So I'm great. You want to say this kind of thing.
mm,
But you have to be yourself. You're no one. You
ah,
just have to accept that. Yeah, you have done great jobs, maybe,
mm-hmm.
but does that really relate to the talk that you want to really talk about?
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
got it. Yeah.
yeah. Be yourself. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
So yeah, in my case, I am an interpreter, but I am just a human. So that's the
mm,
kind of starting point. And
mm-hmm.
then, as a human, what kind of story can you tell?
Mm-hmm.
And as a human, what kind of episode can you tell?
Mm-hmm.
And as a human, what kind of core idea that you can give or present?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And this is especially for the business persons, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
right, cool. Yep.
Mm.
All right. Yeah, through line. Let's go with this. Can you read this?
What's your through line?
Yeah, and have you ever heard of through line, by the way?
Not really. So I searched it.
Oh
Yesterday I
yeah, yeah.
searched it.
What did the Google say?
Um, First I searched it in Japanese. What is through
Yeah,
line in
yeah,
Japanese?
yeah,
But there wasn't like it was like strange Japanese, and I searched it in English, but
yeah.
also it wasn't like precisely like.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think it's kind
Mhm.
of like core idea, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Oh,
right.
really?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're so smart. Yeah, that's the exactly the one.
Mm-hmm.
Through line. So it's more like just one or two sentences to really
Mm-hmm.
represent and symbolizes or summarizes your talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they will ask you, like TEDx guys will ask you, hey, what's your through line? What's your core
Mm-hmm.
idea? And then you have to be able to say that in a really just a matter of few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, interpreters are the voice of others, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can put that into the through line kind of form and put it out for the audience, then audience can really take it back home,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is actually one of the most important things for the TEDx talk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you can be a speaker or not, kind of partly depends on whether you have a really solid through line.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have one, then you have to like go back again and do the process again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. All right. Yep. Okay, let's go. Next one.
What's your episode?
Right. So episode, I talked about my episode of going to university.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 13, I fell in love with English, I said.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kind of episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my case, I used this episode of going through the school days and working with Wayne, my boss at the time,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of give a contrast between speaking about myself, talking about myself in English,
Mm-hmm.
and being an interpreter, which means to be the voice of others.
Mm-hmm.
So it's totally the opposite. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can't talk about yourself while interpreting.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was so good at being myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so good at talking about myself, like, hey, listen, this is what I did, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of easy as a
Mm-hmm.
student to talk about myself. But now
Mm-hmm.
it's so difficult. You always have to look at others.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the change. That's how interpreting changed. And
Mm.
that's my episode.
Oh.
Right. So you want to talk about what happened to your life and
Mm-hmm.
really describe that in a way that's really connected to the through line I mentioned about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's kind of similar. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
connected. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes what happens is, so you have episodes, but these episodes, like let's say you have three episodes,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't talk to the through line.
Mm.
Yeah. And these episodes turn out to be just something, some statement that you just want to say for
Mm-hmm.
the sake of saying it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they have to be really connected to the through line. So this,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, maybe you can read this one
Yeah.
for us.
Through line is the trunk. Episodes are branches.
Yeah. Does that make
Yeah.
sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I really think so. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So you gotta have this through line as a trunk, like the very much the center root
Mm-hmm.
of a tree, and then episodes are going to be the branches that will really ornament or decorate
Mm.
your talks. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. You don't want to have a wrong decoration for the
Yeah, yeah,
Christmas
yeah,
tree,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do need to have a very good alignment between these two
Yeah.
things.
And too much ornament is nonsense. Yeah.
Exactly. You got it right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though you do have a lot of episodes that go with the through line, doesn't mean that you can have tons of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make maybe kind of limit that number of episodes to just two or three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you go four or five, that's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my gut feeling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very good point. All right, let's go.
There's no one single TEDx talk.
Yeah. And what do you think this means?
There's no one single. Mm.
I mean, there's no one single TEDx talk.
Single TEDx talk.
Yeah. Or I would say,
Um,
yeah, there's no only one TEDx talk or one fixed set of TEDx talk.
mhm.
Yeah.
Mm,
Is it kind of hard to guess?
yeah.
Yeah. So for
Like
me,
there's many
yep.
kind of like there's on like for example you're interpreter,
Yeah.
so like there's many kinds of interpreters like to are speak doing the TEDx talk. So
Yeah.
there's not only one topic kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a very interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a lot of interpreters that are going on TEDx. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen any interpreter going on TED in
Mm.
Canada yet, but I hope to be the one in the future. Yeah, so I do see TEDx speakers as interpreters, and
Mm.
they do talk about different things.
Yeah.
And I talked this time. I talked about the voice of others
Yeah.
through interpreting, which I don't think other guys have ever talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then even though you are coming from the same occupation or same industry, you
Mm-hmm.
do end up talking about the same thing from different point of view.
Mm.
So the talk is going to be quite different.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So even though you guys are university students in the same university, then if you make a
Mm-hmm.
TEDx talk, it's gonna be so different. Yeah. So that's what I think is gonna be happening. Yeah. All right. Len, did I miss you or can you hear me okay, by the way? Okay. So I think we just have to stop this for a moment. Okay. Len, or is that me?
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, Len. Are you able to hear me?
yeah. Like 1 minute, 2 minutes. I
Yes.
couldn't hear. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Mm.
Okay, so I just have to start it again, and I think it is being recorded again. Yep. So, okay, so
Oh,
can
okay.
can we start again?
Okay.
Yep.
There's no one single TEDx talk.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So, even though we do have the same kind of experience, we end up talking about a different talk, making a different talk. That's
Mm-hmm.
what it means here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so everyone's talk is different. Everyone's process to making the talk is different.
Mm-hmm.
But there are certain criteria that you have to meet to make a
Yeah.
TEDx talk. So as long as you do meet them,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be TEDx talk.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their background are similar, but
Yeah.
their jobs are similar. Same interpreter, but
Yep.
their talking thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
The details inside is different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what really differentiates your talk from others is the episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if the episodes are different, it's going to be a different talk, and the taste is going to be different, and the end
Mm-hmm.
result is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so episodes are what really differentiate
Yeah.
your talk from others. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I do believe that you do have really unique experience. So Alan, you got to be a TEDx talk, really great TEDx talk speaker.
Yeah, I will try.
Yeah,
Now I'm
yeah.
50%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I doing a good job, like 10% to 50%? Or
Yeah,
did you
gradually.
say
Yeah, gradually.
15%, 1 5 still?
50.
50, 50.
50, yeah.
All right, 40% up. Okay.
Yeah.
I believe I'm doing a good job. All right, let's go with this one.
Yep. It's the process that matters.
Yeah. So can you kind of guess what this means?
Um, so you mean the process is important,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yeah. It's like if you were in the speaker team of
Mm-hmm.
TEDxKobe, you might have already felt this, but like once we become a speaker, we try to have meetings regularly,
Mm-hmm.
and we have almost like once a week we have
Yeah, yeah, I
meetings.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. Some guys, some speakers have meetings every day,
Mm-hmm.
which is like, wow, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really laborious, but at the same time, they share the process.
Mm-hmm.
The speaker team and the speaker themselves will share the moment, share the time, share the process together, and
Mm-hmm.
through that process, the speaker's ideas are, in a sense, like being contagious or like infected to the speaker team.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time that TEDx Kobe is done, then
Mm-hmm.
the speaker team, everyone in the speaker team are just another Onishi.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are like five or six Onishis in the speaker team because they're kind of influenced by the speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's the process. Really, that really changes the speaker teams as well as
Mm-hmm.
all the stakeholders in the TEDx. So if we just say like, "Hey, can you do a TEDx talk?" and it's December 22nd, so can
Mm-hmm.
you just come here on one day and give the talk and go away? Then there is no process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not like that in the case of TEDx Kobe. We do have really a lot of frequent meeting, alignment, and agreements and disagreements,
Mm-hmm.
and that really will lead us to the process itself. So, yeah. So I
Yeah.
hope next time if you are around and if you can join other TEDx as well,
Mm-hmm.
try to enjoy the process of being with the
Yeah.
speaker.
Like, I was really wondering that what are the speakers, what are they're going to do every week for like 3 months? Yeah.
Right. What do you think we're doing?
like like when at the after talk we
Yeah.
talked that you said that like 90% of your first
Yeah.
like speech transcript was everything like cut off.
Yeah.
So like maybe your English was difficult, so you have to cut off for the Japanese audience
Yeah.
and cut off, and
Yeah.
then like 3 months, yeah, has passed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's basically the process of cutting off and really eliminating the words that we don't need to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also had to talk about like which words should we use.
Yeah.
For example, we ended up using the phrase "voice of others,"
Mm-hmm.
but this didn't happen in the first trial. Like we used to say personalization.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know this word. You study English very well,
Yeah.
so it's very easy for you. But
Mm-hmm.
for the speaker team and for the general public, it was like, what is
Mm-hmm.
personalization? And the risk of using the word personalization is that it's so well used in
Mm-hmm.
marketing and other
Mm-hmm.
sorry disciplines and others. So when we say personalization, it's got a lot of meaning already
Mm-hmm.
in different disciplines.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to kind of avoid giving them ambiguous image of the word we say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's why we changed that to internalization.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I think it does make sense to you, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, but for the other speaker team members, it was like what is internal? So they had,
It's a long
uh,
word. Yeah.
yeah, it's a long word, and I understand that, and I also appreciate their comments that they didn't understand what I'm saying,
Mm,
because if they didn't understand, then the audience on the 22nd of December wouldn't understand it either.
mm,
So this is a very important process. Like, hey, I say this way, but does it really make sense?
mm,
They say it didn't. So this is the
mm,
process, like really interactions with the speaker team.
mm,
And yeah, so in that sense, I do think that this talk, like 15-minute talk, was generated not only by me, but also all the speaker teams and
mm,
TEDx guys. They gave us a lot of feedback.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I really owe them a lot for this talk.
Yeah, like 3 months ago, like I wanted to be the member of your the staff, the
Oh,
speaker
really?
team. Yeah, but if I like hear everyone's like the other staffs,
Yeah.
your staff.
Yeah.
Like my to be honest, my English is better than other Japanese.
Yeah, of
So
course. Yeah.
yeah, so maybe I'll say personal like internalization is more better.
Yeah.
So and your English is so speak more fast.
Uh-huh.
And it's for English speaking person
Yeah.
and not for Japanese audience. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it was like I was glad that it's not gay, but I was glad that I wasn't on your team.
No, no, I mean, like, I would have appreciated your presence at the time, like, if
Mm-hmm.
you were there, because people have different opinions,
Yeah.
and it's good to hear, like, hey, some people do understand what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
but then others don't.
Mm-hmm.
This is already a diversity, and
Mm-hmm.
I would have really wanted to see the scenario of you joining my team.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
have to run another TEDxKobe if that's the case. If I am selected, then you're gonna be the speaker team member. I'm just joking, but yeah. So I would have really appreciated if you have joined, if you had joined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Great,
Like,
great.
wasn't it difficult to be like restricted by those limits?
It was, yeah. But then it was really also challenging in a creative way.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to have some restrictions on the use of vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't really talk about difficult things. But the good thing is about this is that, like, voice of others, this is a through line, and the
Mm-hmm.
through line is always a universal thing,
Mm-hmm.
something that's quite quintessential, or something that really talks to the core part
Mm-hmm.
of how the world works.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if that's the case, we actually found a lot of ways to express that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just learned through this process that the core idea can be paraphrased in myriad way of ways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't express it in a different way, then it's
Mm-hmm.
your lack of vocabulary. That's what I have learned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I enjoy the process, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you enjoy the process as well or not. I just don't know.
Oh, like paraphrasing is like kind of taking IELTS test.
Exactly. Yeah. And you said you score 8.5,
Yeah.
right? You're gonna be okay with the paraphrasing.
Yeah, paraphrase. Yeah, it was so difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the process. If you can enjoy that, that would be really
Mm-hmm.
great. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Let's go with this. Did you know
Yeah.
this word?
No, headache.
Yeah, TEDx. What do you think this is?
So it's kind of headache, headache. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're tired of it?
Yeah. It's in a sense, yeah, I'm really tired of it, in a
Mm-hmm.
sense, but I'm really missing it already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I miss it. All the excitement, all the people joining me and cheering me up, and all
Mm-hmm.
this stuff. So people have TEDx, which is a positive word actually.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, after you go through TEDx talk or after you go through the TEDx event as a volunteer or speaker or
Mm-hmm.
participant, you do miss that energy. You do miss
Mm-hmm.
that passion in
Mm-hmm.
that event, and it's like you're infected with the disease,
Mm.
right? And then you want to have it again.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a total opposite to COVID. You don't want to have it again, but
Mm-hmm.
TEDx is something that you want to have again.
Mm. That's
Yeah,
opposite. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you kind of have the similar experience with this?
Um,
Maybe not much yet.
no, not yet. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like presentation or like speaking in public.
Hmm. Oh, so
Yeah.
you like, or you're not really good at doing
I
this?
don't really like. I
Oh,
don't
you don't
like.
really like it.
Yeah, I'm really nervous about it. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's okay. For me, speaking publicly is not a too hard a job for me,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm okay with that. But yeah, some other speakers may not be so familiar with talking
Mm-hmm.
with the public, so they may have nervousness when talking
Mm-hmm.
about this. Yes, but after we are actually done, and when we go for the after party, and
Mm-hmm.
we enjoy a party for 2 hours after the
Mm-hmm.
talk, and that's when TEDx sets in. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
TEDx sets in, and we start to feel like, oh, is this moment gonna finish? And
Oh.
yeah, when I go back home on the train, what am I going to feel?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to feel like, what am I gonna do tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a Monday morning. If you don't have any job, it's gonna be really, really hard to
Yeah.
get through a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So TEDx. So just be ready if you're a speaker. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess this is the last slide. Yeah. Could you read that, please?
You're the next speaker.
Yes, you are the next speaker. So, as I said before, like the purpose of this conversation is to really encourage the future TEDx speakers
Mm-hmm.
and the candidates. So, I do hope that by going through and watching this video, I hope
Mm-hmm.
that more and more people will be interested in at least like taking the courage to take the audition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of courage, and you actually have to fill in a Google form
Mm-hmm.
in Japanese or in English, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's like 400 letters in Japanese, 800 letters in Japanese, and another 400 letters to talk about your background
Mm-hmm.
and to talk about your idea itself, and
Mm-hmm.
then to talk about where that passion or where that idea comes from.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, it's a kind of competition exam, just like
Mm-hmm.
the university, like AIU, they have a lot of writing exams, right?
Yeah.
It's just like that.
Mm.
And then if you're selected, then you are able to go on to the audition,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when you have to make a presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Then, if you still pass that audition, then you can go to the next rehearsal phase,
Mm-hmm.
2 months prior to the event, when you can make that presentation again. And that's when you will be judged whether you can
Mm-hmm.
be selected as a speaker or not, or
Mm.
you have to go on for another 1 month
Uh-huh.
and go another rehearsal 1 month prior to the event.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they say, like, yes, you're the speaker, or
Mm-hmm.
no, not this time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite a long process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people will be really, really exhausted at the end of
Mm.
the day. Yeah.
Mm.
But as many people have already written from TEDx 2024, they do enjoy this process.
Mm-hmm.
Although it was just a series of painful weeks and months, but
Mm-hmm.
after they're done, it feels like their important part of themselves is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they miss it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you
Okay.
nervous about it that whether you're gonna be a speaker or not?
I was nervous about it. Yes.
Mm.
Like I knew that the process is going to be long because
Mm-hmm.
I went through this 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But then the very moment when TEDxKobe is going to say like, "Hey, you're the speaker. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
you're not the speaker." That 1 week
Mm-hmm.
was like heaven. Sorry, hell for me. It was like a hell, and I
Oh,
and I call this torture week.
torture! Wow.
Torture week. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And then they said it was a fun story. Like I had the rehearsal 2 months prior to the event,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought like they're gonna tell me like on that rehearsal day
Mm.
that
At the end
okay,
of
you
the day.
passed it. Yeah.
Mm.
But then they didn't say anything,
Mm-hmm.
and I waited for their email to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like okay, you passed.
Mm.
It was not on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
so torture week started Monday. No email. Torture week to the second day, Tuesday, no email.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yeah, we'll get back to you by Wednesday.
Mm.
Wednesday came in, no email until midnight.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then that's the Thursday morning that I
Mm-hmm.
got the email. Like I woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning and I checked the email and I
Mm-hmm.
got the offer. Like, so it was
Wow.
a long process. Yeah, it was a
Mm-hmm.
long process. No,
Wow.
so sorry, let me correct. Yeah, they gave me an email.
Mm-hmm.
They said, we're going to have a meeting this week. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to let you know the result at that meeting.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the email was not the answer. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had to wait for that moment to come in. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that was quite a torture week.
Mm.
I'm telling this to Mr. Funahashi, like the organizer, in a
Mm-hmm.
joking way.
Mm.
But yeah, it was really hard.
Mm.
Yeah. But once you select it, you got to be having a really great time.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good, good. Sorry, I spoke too much, but this is the tips for the future TEDx and TEDxKobe
Mm-hmm.
speakers. I know you have been listening to me so well, but what's your comment or what's your comment about this?
Um, like everyone has like hidden idea
Yeah,
and like hidden background that they
yep,
didn't share to others. So I hope everyone, including me,
yeah,
maybe, I
yeah.
don't know, could think of TEDx speakers, TEDx Kobe speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do consider this possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And once you really go through your life, and maybe you're still young, but you
Mm-hmm.
do have experience, you have an episode
Mm-hmm.
to share with us. And as you go on with your life, maybe one day in the future, you will think like, hey, I remember kind of real, hey, what he said. Okay,
Mm.
maybe I can give it a try. Yeah, you might
Ah,
think like this someday.
when the time comes, I will mention at the speak that I was like I was impressed by Onishi Ryohei.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for that. Yeah, I'm not sure if TEDx Kobe or TEDx guys will allow you to use that particular name. I just don't know.
Oh,
No, I'm just joking.
oh, really?
No, I'm just joking. But yeah, please do include that if you have if you
Yeah,
go on to the TED stage. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm really okay. Here is a question. What is the likelihood? You went to 50% right now.
Mm,
What's the percentage?
um,
Doesn't have to be 100%.
95 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
I,
almost there. Almost.
Almost there, right?
Yeah,
I think I did a great job then.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really important to motivate the
Mm,
people so that they will really think like, hey, maybe I can do that.
yeah.
Yeah. So you started out with 10%, and at the end of like 1 hour talk, you were not at 95%.
95. Yeah.
Yeah. So great, so great. All
Mm.
right. Is there any final comment that you want to leave us with?
Um, I want you guys, the listeners, to
Yep.
look at Onishi Ryohei's TEDx talk. Just that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to seeing my talk as well as others' talk.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I also think like these other 6 or 7 speakers that went on stage last
Mm.
weekend as comrades, like
Mm-hmm.
friends, like
Mm-hmm.
we fought together.
Mm-hmm.
We lived together. So I'm really as much excited as seeing my talk and their talks as well. So
Mm-hmm.
once that's uploaded onto YouTube, yeah, do be sure to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I think I can now finish this conversation with Len. Once again, make sure to remember Len. He's gonna be a superstar in the future. He is already a superstar in terms of the English ability. He is truly a genius in making efforts. Okay, Len, it was really nice to have you here.
Yeah,
Thank you so
thank
much,
you.
Len. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much.
Thank you.